Let's keep it real. You probably know this line. Heck, you might even use this line yourself, you know? This is like maximum return on investment, super low risk. And I got to give a shout out to AIS Live Weekend and Nate Herc, but also Devin, because he basically spoke about this. You know, there was an instance that, they were working with a client, and this client, they said, we're going to revolutionize your business. But, and they would. But the company eventually said, you know what? We're just going to stick with a company that's going to train us on AI. And the reason they did that is because, no one ever got fired for buying IBM. It's a safe choice. You train your team. And what's the worst that can happen? That's exactly what this one is about. But this is about, we're all grown-ups here, I mean, I assume, if you're watching this. So you want to be valued by leadership. You want to progress in your career. You want to do it the right way, right? So whenever you're thinking about, I want to do something to make my company better, I want to do something really to shift us in the next gear, let's be honest, you should always also keep in mind, but what if it goes wrong? What if I spend 150,000 on this agency and it doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, right? Then there are consequences. So part of a decision, how to implement AI, whether that's through training, whether that's hiring an external agency, or whether to not implement it at all, eventually, not doing something, not making a decision is also a decision, right? So a big AI rollout, it has your name on it. And I get it, because you might be someone that says, I can see that if our entire team understands how this works, or if we just bring in the big guns, we just bring in an expert agency, and we just write down the workflows, and then the agents work 24/7, we're going to demolish our competition. We're going to obliterate the competition, and we're going to actually revolutionize the way this business works. And then I'm part of that change. Just imagine. I'll probably be promoted, right? But 95% of AI pilots show no profit impact, right? So you have a pilot, you spend a bunch of money, you believe that company because they have a venture capital backing them, and you're like, yeah, let's work with these guys. But then actually the bottom line doesn't even change. Pretty crazy statistic. So MIT studied 300 deployments to find this number. Because you may be thinking, where's your source? Show me the source. This is the source. I mean, MIT found out, and I think in this industry, it's a well-known number that 95% of all, pilots don't work. Similar to 95% of AI agencies, even if they are funded, that don't return, actually, they're not profitable. So here's the interesting part. MIT blamed the learning gap, not the models, right? It's not because Anthropic, the tools aren't working, and cloud chat and cloud co-work and cloud code and cloud design were not up to par. No, it was the learning gap between the current knowledge and the knowledge that was needed to actually implement, the new way of working, instead of just saying, I have a shiny tool that I never use and it's just sitting there. So when you think about training your team, like the worst case scenario, AI training makes your team more capable. That's it. Yes, it takes time, but training is the work, like it's part of the work. Like I'm now training for my third marathon. I haven't run a lot of marathons, but training for the third one was running yesterday. And it's not a fake run. It was okay. It was only 12K, but it's not a fake run. It's a real run, right? That, you're leading up to the full real marathon one, right? Which is 42 kilometers, which it's not like 100 miles like David Goggins does, but still, still something. Best case, however, is more pipeline and more content. right? More campaigns live, more leads that are being converted, more speed to lead, you know, things are automated on that end, more visibility, more brand awareness. And besides more, it's also less costs. You know, the person that you thought you needed to hire, maybe you don't have to hire the person anymore. Maybe you don't have to hire another agency anymore to clip all the videos or whatever you're doing for your socials, etc. So it's the same budget, but with a very different downside. And I hope the point is clear that if you hire that company, that agency that can revolutionize your business, and they do it, you're golden, because you're literally, obliterating the competition in your niche. Let's say you're a car, you have a company and you sell cars, and or you have a dealership and you just really want to make sure that in a certain area. I'm thinking about the Valley because my boys watch Cobra Kai, you know, and Daniel LaRusso, he has a dealership in the Valley. And, there's another guy in the Valley, for those who watch it, great show. But, you want to reach out to clients, and you want to give the best service, and you want to grow your business. And, that would be awesome. But what if it doesn't work? Then, the thing is, this is in everyone's mind, but it's in no business plan, right? Then you might get fired, you might be like reprimanded, like, hey, we're going to choose Lindsay over you because Lindsay didn't make the mistake that you made, and you cost us a lot of money. So which bet do you want your name on, right? I think it's something to really think about. Thanks for sticking with me. My name is Rich Loen, founder of Torque. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.